Nigel Farage attempts to ask straightforward questions regarding U.S. funding for Ukraine and the potential deployment of British troops, but is met with a barrage of shouts, drowning him out in a display of blatant disrespect. We'll take a look at the footage shortly, but first, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Take a look at this.
Nigel Farage.
Thank you. It may be a great irony that a Remainer Prime Minister used Brexit freedoms as effectively as he did yesterday. Indeed, as Number 10 briefed, we are now in a unique position compared to the rest of Europe, and yesterday was a triumph. I also applaud him making such positive words about President Trump and our relationship with America, even if nobody behind him agrees. But here's the key. President Zelensky has now accepted that he's going to sign the minerals agreement with America. And America's going to put in $100 billion or whatever it is, and thousands of Americans will be in Ukraine. Is that of itself enough of a security guarantee? No. Or does it mean that we need to send British troops? And if we do, given the size of our army, how many?
The mineral deal is not enough on its own. But can I just remind him, Russia is the aggressor. Zelensky is a war leader whose country has been invaded. And we should all be supporting him and not fawning over Putin.
Let me know your thoughts on this. In other news, Keir Starmer believed this would be his defining moment, a chance to appear strong, decisive, and in control. Instead, his latest move has completely backfired, and the timing couldn't be worse. We've all heard Starmer talk about putting Britain on a so-called war footing, but the reality of his actions is raising serious questions about where his true priorities lie. On one hand, he's now pushing to protect the UK's defense industry from American takeovers. Yet on the other, he's still pouring billions into foreign wars. So what's really going on here? At a major defense event in Westminster, Starmer declared that British aerospace and defense firms must remain British. His comments follow reports that U.S. private equity giant Bain Capital is looking to acquire Chemring, a company that manufactures countermeasures for both the RAF and U.S. Air Force. His message was clear: keep them British. Absolutely, we're really proud of what we do, he stated. On the surface, this might seem like a strong, patriotic stance. But here's the real question. Why is he drawing the line only now? For years, British industries have been sold off to foreign investors under both Labour and Conservative governments. From energy companies to key manufacturing firms, foreign ownership has steadily increased. Yet suddenly, Starmer appears concerned about British ownership. At the same time, he's still committing billions to fund a war that the U.S. itself is stepping back from. His defense secretary, John Healey, backed him up, arguing that the recent increase in defense spending demonstrates a commitment to supporting British industry. But there's a problem. Much of that spending isn't even staying in Britain. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is taking a very different approach, and this is where Starmer's timing couldn't be worse. While Starmer makes bold pledges on defense, Trump has shifted course entirely. After a tense exchange with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump has now paused military aid to Ukraine. An official from Trump's administration clarified, President Trump has been clear that he is focused on peace. We need our partners to be committed to that goal as well. We are pausing and reviewing our aid to ensure that it is contributing to a solution. This decision has sent shockwaves through Washington, with Democrats furious and accusing Trump of playing into Putin's hands. Senator Jeanne Shaheen lashed out, saying, by freezing military aid to Ukraine, President Trump has kicked the door wide open for Putin to escalate his violent aggression. But Trump isn't backing down. He directly criticized Zelensky after the Ukrainian leader claimed the war was very, very far from ending. Trump's response? This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer. So while Trump pulls back, Britain and Europe are doubling down. The UK, alongside France and other European nations, is now offering to send troops to Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire. something that Moscow has already rejected. A British government spokesperson insisted, "We remain absolutely committed to securing a lasting peace in Ukraine and are engaging with key allies in support of this effort." And yet, while Trump is freezing aid, Britain is still pledging $3 billion per year to Ukraine, while also pushing through a £2.26 billion loan using sanctioned Russian assets. So what does all of this mean? While Starmer is making moves to protect British defense companies, he's simultaneously sending billions overseas to fuel a war that even the US is pulling back from. His attempt to appear strong and decisive has completely unraveled, and now more and more people are questioning where his real priorities lie. So what do you think? Is Starmer making the right decision, or has he just made a massive mistake? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.